guys, this is the King of Weebs here, and this is a what if Naruto was betrayed part 2. Last time I left off with Naruto pretty much building his new village, and anyway, it's actually 2:48 a.m. I'm going to try to get this out as soon as possible. Today I was meant to record a lot more, and I did not because I had many things and I was very busy today. Yes, I'm a busy man now. Anyway, last time we left off with Naruto building his new village, the Uzumaki village, and we know that he got a few ninjas, well, rogue ninjas, and he basically made a home for the outcasts of the shinobi world, and he has a new goal in mind to stop the cycle of hatred. Now, he also has already, well, Gato did try to attack the village with his bunch of bandits, as he thought it was just a small town trying to, become a village. And he did try to attack them. However, he was killed. Also, all his bandits were killed as well. Now, obviously, he also got Inari and, Thousand and his little town to come into the village, and they were really skilled and they helped the village thrive. Now, obviously, Naruto's village did not go undercover, and clearly under the radar, not undercover, sorry, and clearly they went to the ears of, the fourth Hokage, Minato. Minato, after finding out that the, Uzumaki village that was destroyed in the war has now risen from the rumble. Oh, the rubble, no rumble. What? Thinking about the rumbling. If you know why. If you know, you know. Anyway, now, obviously, now Naruto would go on to pretty much make his village known to everyone, as they became quite good. You know, they had a pretty good area where they were. Well, the area that they were in was very good, and so, crops and everything, they were selling everything. They were becoming a big trading superpower. Obviously, this also came into play, well, also Tarzan's bridge building abilities came into play, as he created many bridges around the village, not literally leading into the village but around it, and that made traveling easier. And Naruto also obviously made new deals with the new, well, clients. Obviously, Naruto wasn't just going to be in the village all the time. He would also go out of the village and bring more ninjas in. Now, he also created a better ninja system in his village. So there is an academy and there are new joining team leaders, although they're not the best at teaching children who just graduated from the academy. But obviously, they were better than nothing. They were rogue ninjas, so they would most probably be A to S rank. But Naruto would make sure that everyone would get an S rank shinobi, which was pretty much scared of Naruto. Naruto would pretty much destroy anyone in his way and give them a second chance. If not, he would just kill them, especially if they're rogue ninjas, and he would take the bounty. Obviously, this would help out the village as well. Now, Naruto would not only be known as the Uzukage. Shout out to whoever you are. I forgot your name. I did try to search you up on my iPad, but I couldn't find you. But if you know and you're watching this, what if you know who you are? I replied to you. Now, obviously, Naruto would also make his name known as a shinobi. He wouldn't be a shinobi of the leaf. He wouldn't be known as a rogue shinobi of the leaf either, but he would be known as a shinobi, or as the Uzukage, and he would already be put as an S rank shinobi, and a flea on sight that would be put on his name or put on him. The second only person that has ever gotten that. Obviously, the other person was his father. Minato was actually quite surprised that Naruto, was able to do all this within a month. And the village is not big, but you have to take into account that Naruto made a lot of houses with his wood release, and also he's been training a bit with Haku, which has helped his growth, and also Haku has grown a lot. Haku has become a very strong shinobi within this month. He's close to being, you know, an S rank shinobi, but he's still just an A rank because of him not having that will or that motivation to become, the best, and make the most out of his potential, until Zabuza came in and told Haku to start taking his training seriously. He should be honored to train with Naruto, someone that strong, someone stronger than himself. It's once in a lifetime chance, so make the most out of it while you still can, before your death comes. As obviously, Zabuza has become the leader of the Security Council. So not the council, but the security. He's basically an Anbu. Yes, he's an Anbu. Now he would be patrolling around the village, and remember, these Anbu aren't weak, especially because they're all S rank shinobi. And I'm not going to mention any other S rank shinobi name, because it will be a very long process to go and find them S ranks and their abilities, and I'm pretty sure they're all side characters, so no one wants to know who flipping what one of the Anbu number 34 is. Like, let's be honest. Now, obviously, Naruto. Now, sorry. Now we will go back to the Leaf Village a month prior. I still have to cover what happened after Naruto left. So now we see Tsuki's perspective after Naruto left. Obviously, she was very saddened, and Sasuke did try to console her, as I said in the last part, as we find out that she already had a crush on Naruto for a long time, but it is what it is. And Sai and the Root were already demolished. Not Sai, Sai wasn't demolished, but Sai would be in a team with Menma and Mito, whereas Sakura, Tsuki, and Sasuke would be in a team. Their joining team leader would be Kakashi. Sorry, yes, would be. Sorry, that was a mistake. Their joining team leader would be Kushina, whereas the other joining Team Seven's joining team leader, which would be Kakashi as per normal. Kushina decided to take. Well, she didn't really decide. It was actually a lottery, and although Kakashi seemed like the best fit, Kushina was chosen, and they thought that Kushina, she has no children to take care of anymore, so she can return to her old days and be the ninja that she once was, or return being return to being the ninja that she once was. Now, obviously, now Naruto. Oh, sorry, not Naruto. Now Team 7 and I'll, I'll call this Team 13. I like. No, actually, I think Team 13 is Team Guy. Anyway, Team Kushina and Team Kakashi would be training a lot together, especially because of Kushina's influence, and her being the wife of the Fufukage, and Kakashi doesn't mind training with the other team, although he'd much rather be doing missions with them. However, their mission time, that would, like in the original Team 7, would do a month of in the original Team 7 would do a month of missions. However, here they would be doing 2 weeks of missions, and every 1 week they would have a training session, just a full week of training with the Team Kushina. This was mostly because of Kushina, like I said, and the two teams do not like each other. Realistically, Sai is just neutral. He does not know any where the bad blood was, and Sakura doesn't like Menma because he was the only one competing with Sasuke, although Sasuke was never really trying against Menma. And then now we would go on to pretty much see Team Kakashi grow, as Team Kushina didn't much, except for Sakura. The rest didn't really get much out of it, especially because Team Kakashi was not allowed to use their full power because they were too scared that they would end up killing the other team. And Kushina set this rule. That's why the Tuichi has never didn't really get much growth. However, at night time, they would be trained by Fugaku with the Sharingan as somehow one of them unlocked the Mangekyo. Obviously, this was Tsuki as Naruto leaving, although she knew that he was going to leave, was enough of an emotional impact to her to make her unlock the Mangekyo. And Sasuke was lacking behind now because of Tsuki's enhanced eye paralysis and enhanced abilities. This makes him feel a bit left out, like Fugaku's putting a bit more you know, mo- paying more attention to Tsuki's training than his. However, this does not make him go rogue or anything. No, Sasuke just wants to train even harder, and he says to himself that if if the only way is to love someone loved, it's not worth his time. He doesn't want to lose anyone. And anywho, now obviously Sasuke would keep training with Tsuki as Tsuki would grow stronger than him at one point. And anywho, now obviously, well, Naruto would be training too with Haku, and Haku would take his training more seriously. The 1 month, nearing the end of that 1 month, Haku would have started training much more seriously, and this would have helped Naruto grow even further, but also Haku grow. Now, Minato would not allow Naruto to just run his own village like that because he thought that this was the Naruto's trying to create an army to take over the planet and just destroy everything in the way and eventually kill its own villagers. But in reality, it was just Naruto doing his own thing. So he did send, or not send, but ask Jiraiya to go and check out this village. Naruto does know Jiraiya. Jiraiya has come to the house once or twice when Naruto was still there. Naruto does remember him. Naruto never really hated him, but at the same time, he never really liked him because of him. He did lose pretty much everything. However, he did not hold him accountable as he was just the messenger of the prophecy and he did not say who the child of prophecy was because he was taught never to, well, assume unless, you know, there is something pushing you towards that. There was nothing pushing Jiraiya into thinking that, the two children of prophecy are Men Man Mito only because they're the oldest. Like, he never really mentioned who would be the child or who would be the two children of prophecy would be. So Jiraiya here decides not to assume anything. However, once he sees Naruto and his village, this was the pushing factor to him actually assuming that Naruto was actually the real child or one of the real children of prophecy, which could be right or could be wrong, depends on what I want to do. Now, Jiraiya sees how this village is peaceful. There is no fights, no nothing. Everyone coexists. And then he goes on, or keeps walking towards the Hokage Tower. Obviously, Jiraiya has done this stealthily and he has infiltrated the, you know, also, the Uzumaki village. I actually don't know the name. However, that's what he thinks. Naruto's already on his tail and he's already seen him enter the village as he, although he doesn't tell, his security guards and everything, he still keeps a clone here hidden to just see if someone can get through. Obviously, Jiraiya is one of the legendary Sanin and he's known for his great skill with the stealth ninjutsu. So he does not blame his, Anbu. However, he will scold them and remind them that if there should be no one in the village who isn't meant to be there. They need to be able to do it on their own as one day, or not one day, eventually Naruto won't be there because he'll have to do other stuff too. Because he has a goal. He's not going to just be in the village all the time. He's already been out of the village at one point to recruit more shinobi. Now, obviously, he will tell them that eventually, and well, he tells them that on the same day. But now, as Jiraiya comes towards the Hokage, or not Hokage Tower, or the Uzukage Tower, Naruto greets him as, you know, he actually comes behind him and teleports him away. Jiraiya was confused and he sees Haku and Naruto in a field as Naruto was just lying down, not lying but sitting down looking up at the sky, and then smiles, who then smiles at Jiraiya. Jiraiya then gets ready to fight because he doesn't know what's going on. But then Naruto says it's fine, we're not enemies. Well, unless you want to be enemies. I know you're a Leaf Shinobi, however, I know you're not here to fight. As you must know, this can cause war, right? Obviously, Jiraiya puts his hands up saying that he doesn't want to fight either. He was just in here to, know, as a spy. Yes, a spy. Not Jiraiya decided to be truthful with Naruto, and he tells him that he's actually been sent here to just check out what this village was all about. If this was just, you know, uh, just a lie, and it wasn't really a village prospering like it is, but clearly it's not. So there is nothing to hide, and you guys are not hiding anything. Everything that's been said about this village is all the, it's just the truth. Well, from what he's seen, obviously. Naruto then smiles, saying yes, they wouldn't lie about how they're progressing, as it would just bring unwanted attention if they did lie. Obviously, he's not saying that this attention is what he wanted initially, but it's quite beneficial to the village, so he does not mind it. Now, obviously, Jiraiya would then ask Naruto if he hates him, as Jiraiya does know what has happened. After all, he did receive the message that Naruto left, and he, added 1 plus 1. The last time he did visit, Naruto was home, and he never came back home for the 1 week visit that he was there. And Jiraiya thought that they just had a fight, and Naruto was just at someone else's house. Clearly, it wasn't it, and Jiraiya didn't want to interfere with their family matters, as although he's the godfather of Naruto and Menma and Mito, he knows that the parents are still there, so it's not his responsibility. Although he did tell, he did want Naruto to return, as he wanted to greet him. Obviously, once he left, he didn't know what happened next, as a few years passed, and now they're here. Naruto then obviously tells him that he wouldn't hate him. He knows about the prophecy, and he doesn't believe that Menma and Mito are the children of prophecy, but he doesn't know. Maybe they are. Although his mind is telling him that it's someone else, it's two other people. And in Naruto's mind, when he thinks of the two children of prophecy, what comes to his mind is Sasuke and Tsuki. Obviously, those two have always been with him. Obviously, Shikamaru and Choji have joined a bit later, but those two have always been with him, stuck by his side, never doubted him in anything, and helped him get rid of the sealing technique that was on him. The sealing jutsu that sealed away his chakra for 7 years. I repeat, 7 years. Naruto then, Jiraiya then asks, does he have anyone in mind that could be? Naruto then says, yes, I do, but I don't want to interfere with their development any further, as I already have greatly. Obviously, not in a bad way, in fact, in a more beneficial way than anyone could have actually impacted them. But I don't want to interfere with their training any further unless they want to join this village, which I highly doubt they wouldn't. Obviously, Jiraiya says yes, it's a beautiful village that I'm sure anyone would want to join. Obviously, then they actually just talk for a while as Jiraiya wanted to know more about his godson. Naruto realizes that Jiraiya and Naruto and him have a lot in common, and he tells him to come visit more often, but not as a shinobi, but as his godfather. As although his parents were always in the wrong, clearly in his life, he doesn't think that Jiraiya deserves all this, and Jiraiya did want the best for Naruto, as he didn't relay anything about Naruto to Minato, as he promised to Naruto, but he did relay that everything that has been said about the village is true, and he lied to Minato, saying that Naruto, he was not in the village at the time. He was doing something that he is not aware of. Obviously, Minato is confused on how Naruto could have done all of this, but now a month passes. Team 7 wanted a high rank mission, and obviously at the same time, so did Team 13. No, well, I'll just call them Team 18, innit? Anyway, Team Kushina and Team Kakashi were given a B rank mission because there were two Jonin, six Genin, who, well, two of them were already Jonin level, and two others were secretly Jonin level, but no one knew about that. Everyone thought that they were still Genin, as they thought that their Sharingan wasn't even awakened yet. Now, Menma and Mito are some two characters I have not talked about much at all in this what if, although they are two of the biggest characters or main characters here. Let's be honest, the two don't like Naruto. Yes, they don't like Naruto. However, they don't hate him either. They don't know how to feel about Naruto. At first, they thought that he was just a younger brother who was a prodigy, and they admired him, although they were jealous of him. And after he lost all his powers, they thought that he just stopped. He just didn't want to work hard anymore like he used to. That's what they were told, and that's what they believed for many years. And once Naruto showed off all his strength, they kinda hated him a bit more because not only did he humiliate their father, but also it seemed to them like Naruto was just doing this to give them pity. They thought that Naruto was pitying them and tried to, hold back his progress to allow them to catch up in some sort of way to give them a chance. But that thought has gone past their mind, and now they're just working hard as normal shinobi. They didn't really want the hate from Naruto, and Naruto does not exactly hate them, although they weren't the best of siblings to Naruto. So in this what if, they're not douches, although they are still kinda spoiled, but they are very strong. They both can now quite, well, not fully, but they can access a lot of the chakra of the nine toes, and they can do a lot of things with it. Obviously, they know they are learning the flying Raijin, they know the Rasengan, they even know the scorching Rasengan, and they have three chakra natures. Menma and Mito both have the same chakra natures. Sorry, four, yes, four. And here they are not hateful characters that you guys should hate. Obviously, in yes, it's been a trend that men and Mito have always been like really hateful characters, but this time, no. They are just characters that are just there. They're just neutral characters right now. They have fire, wind, lightning, and water. Wind, lightning, well, lightning comes from Minato, water comes from Kushina, wind is just there, as usual, just breathing in it. But fire is something I wanted to give them, and it's quite fitting, as they both have red hair. But anyways, now, oh yeah, if you didn't realize, they have red hair. Naruto took most of the looks from Minato. They do have some strands of yellow hair, which makes them look a bit cool, but Naruto was just fully yellow hair. And anyways, Minato received all the information about the village, and he was taken aback. At first, he thought Naruto would always be a failure after taking away his chakra, but clearly he was still, like, he wasn't bad. In fact, he was physically the strongest in the academy, showing that he never really gave up on being a shinobi even after all that's happened to him. He kinda admired Naruto. However, his hatred towards Naruto because of the humiliation he received was overshadowing the proud father that he was of Naruto. Although whenever he did receive information about how good the new village of Naruto is doing, he always had a smile on his face or behind the mask that he had put on as the one who does not care for him. Over time, he has started to miss Naruto, and he has started to realize what Naruto truly meant to him. Now that he's not in the village anymore, he realized that maybe he was in the wrong. Naruto was never wrong. And anyway, now a month passes. The teams have 10. Well, the teams have their mission, and anyway, now I would say that now it's a fitting start to the tuning exams. The tuning exams begin, and Naruto, although being the Uzukage, he has never really done the tuning exams. So hasn't Haku, and so hasn't Inari. And wouldn't it be very fitting for them to enter the tuning exams and as a three-man team, just go at it, right? I mean, Naruto, although he's a Kage level fighter, it would be quite unfair. However, I'm not going to allow Naruto to come in there, as it's quite stupid of me, as we all know Naruto would just win. So would Haku. Inari would enter, although he's very young. He's a young participant, and he would enter because of the gifted ability that he has. Inari is able to control water as if he could control the sand like Gar, as if he was Gar controlling the sand. That's what I meant. My English is not very good at 3:15 a.m. Now, Inari would be able to control the water as if it was Gara controlling the sand, as I said, and so they thought that he would be a very strong contender. Now, there were other genin in the village that were very, very capable of, you know, competing for tuning rank, and so they picked the two best ones. One of them being able to use lightning release very well, and being physically very strong and fast. The other one being a healer, which Naruto thought that every team should have, and it's very essential, especially because of that idea that has been implanted in him by Tsuki, as she is actually a medical ninja, but no one knows about, other than obviously her close friends and family. And also, Tsuki is very physically strong and just has a lot of jutsus, which makes her pretty much the best all-round ninja. Although Naruto has started doing healing training too, as he wants to become a good healer too. Anywho, being the Hokage doesn't mean being the strongest, but he should be able to also help his village medically and, you know, be able to heal them when they need it. Now, obviously, the team would go into the tuning exams, and the tuning exams would pretty much go as per normal. Just that here, instead of Naruto saving Konohamaru, it would actually be Sasuke and Tsuki together. And then, you know, because there's an extra team, I'm going to take out two other teams, random teams, and anywho now, Inari's team would get in the preliminaries, and only Inari would pass. And I'm just going to say that Team 8, Hinata's team, and Shikamaru's team just didn't join this year. Yes, they didn't. Now, Sasuke passes, Tsuki passes, Menma, Mito, Neji, um, Gaara, and Inari. Obviously, Temari and Kankuro. So, now I've got a bit of a predicament here. One sec. Alright, so we got Sasuke versus Inari, Tsuki versus Mito, Menma versus Kankuro, Menma versus Gaara, sorry, Kankuro versus Temari. I know the two, I did it three different ways, and somehow I always ended up with them two versing each other, so I gave up. Now, obviously, the preliminaries would go on. Fortunately, you know, we have Kankuro and Temari lost, and they won't be fighting each other as per normal. As Orochimaru still had the balls to attack. Yes, he did. Now, obviously, he didn't put the curse mark on anyone yet. He was going to put it right at the end after pretty much destroying the village and killing Minato. He wanted to kill Minato here because he thought that he'd he'd be the Hokage and be able to do all his experiments, but in the end he wasn't able to become Hokage, and he thought Minato was the real reason. He actually thought he could defeat Minato. Minato was stuck in there with Orochimaru, and Orochimaru was pretty much annihilated. I'll be honest, he he was pretty much killed, but Orochimaru had a backup plan here. He's not stupid to go in somewhere that he knows is going to be killed. He knew that there was a high possibility that he could have been killed, so he he had the plan B to escape, and obviously allow Garo to, you know, just rampage in the village before while he's keeping Minato at bay. At least still destroy the Leaf Village, which he has a grudge against. Now, the third Hokage would be alerted of this, and he would be protecting the village, and he wasn't aware of all the Wantos being released. And here, the Wantos would only be released because of Menma actually being able to hurt Gara by using the Flying Raijin for the first time and using the Wind Star Rasengan. It wasn't a Wind Star Rasengan Shuriken like Naruto has, but it was just a normal Wind Star Rasengan. Now, obviously, what's it? Anyway, so it wasn't just a Rasen Shuriken, it was just a normal Wind Star Rasengan, which actually quite hurt and made the Gara bleed, which made him go into a rampage. Now, obviously, Gara rampaging in the village would be a big problem, as Naruto was actually watching in the stands, just there. Yes, he was there, and in that 1 month training that would have happened, Inari would have trained with Naruto, and Naruto also would have trained with Jiraiya, and mostly in stealth ninjutsu, as Naruto wants his arsenal of skills to be absolutely immense. He actually sent a clone, one clone only is all he needed. Now, he would train Inari as much as possible and watch his fights, although, you know, he could only see Inari be defeated by Sasuke as he revealed his Free-Toei Sharingan for the first time. Obviously, Sasuke knew that Inari was very strong and he was just a child. However, him being able to use water like that, he could literally change the water vapor in the air and make it into water needles to attack him, which has happened once or twice in the fight. Obviously, Sasuke had a pretty hard time against Inari, showing that, Inari is a prodigy here. And then now, Naruto would be very proud of how Inari went out, and his other two teammates didn't go out that easily either. I'm not going to mention how they went out. I'll allow it's very long. Now, obviously, this would then Naruto would actually see Gaara and think about Gaara, and so in the end, he would actually take care of Gaara himself by headbutting him, telling him that he's just like him. He can be his friend. He is a leader of a village, and if he ever needs to go somewhere, he can come to his. But first, he needs to try in his own. Although Naruto isn't one to talk. Anyways, now this would create an alliance with the Sand and the Uzumaki village and the Whirlpool village, I'll say. And anyway, now obviously we go on to pretty much see Naruto return to his village, and the people knew that Naruto was in the village, and Minato, before Naruto left, would actually come to Naruto and privately speak to him, teleporting him away. He would tell him that he's grateful for for Naruto helping out the village, and Naruto says that it's nothing. He just didn't want the people that he cared for killed, as clearly he wasn't fit enough to. Well, he wasn't a fit Hokage, and Minato was pretty much saddened by hearing this, but he realized that this was all pretty much his fault. Now, Naruto would then tell him to, think about what he's done over the years and try to, become a better person. Not for not for Naruto, but for himself and for his family. But then Minato looks towards him and says that, you are part of my family too. Naruto says that you may think that, however, I've left your family a long time ago. Although I may still have the name Uzumaki, it does not mean I'm part of your family. I am just one who's prideful of the Uzumakis of the past, and I will make sure that their name will be remembered, and I will stop the cycle of hatred. Just like Jiraiya Sensei once. Naruto let our sensei accidentally, and obviously this brought an end to the conversation as Minato I wanted to ask a bit more, and Naruto disappeared. Now usually would come, bringing back Tsunade. However, this would lead on to a new arc of the story. Naruto would say his final goodbye to Tsuki, and Tsuki would want to join the Leaf. I mean, not the Leaf Village, the Uzumaki Village. However, Obviously, although Naruto would have invited them, there is no reason for them to leave, right? Although he thinks there is no reason. Obviously, Tsuki wanted to go, but she says goodbye to Naruto as Naruto, pretty much spots, uh, or fist bumps Sasuke, and Sasuke now truly feels lonely as he's seen his friend. He has other friends like Haku, Zabuza, and he feels a bit left out as well. Obviously, this went on to Sasuke training even harder to actually become his own person, independent, so he can one day leave the village too. This brought him to a whole different level. This was a different kind of pain of Sasuke. Sasuke was pain because he was left behind. He was being left behind, and he was a bit like Vegeta in this one. He's a bit like Vegeta. He always felt like he was being left behind after, seeing Trunks turning into Super Saiyan. So he went on his own journey to become, the best and become a Super Saiyan. Obviously, he achieved that through pain and suffering and training. And this is exactly how Sasuke does it in the time skip. And during this time skip, Naruto's village would become very, very known throughout the Shinobi world, and it would become one of the biggest villages, actually. As in, not biggest literally in size and people, but mostly in power, basically. It would become a superpower, basically, especially because of Naruto. Now, Naruto would also begin his Sage Mode training during these 2 years, and th- he would also have brought Tsunade into the uh, Uzumaki village, as Tsunade wanted to see this village, and she was actually invited to stay by Naruto, and she knew that Naruto was actually the student that Jiraiya was always bragging about whenever he sees her. And she's like, oh, you know, you seem quite strong. And obviously Naruto asks for training from her too, because he's become a pretty good, you know, a medical ninja as well. As Naruto shows off what he's capable of, Tsunade is very impressed, as Naruto has already got skills close to, um, you know, close to Shizune. Now, Sakura would still becoming a medical ninja, and she was basically a prodigy in that field, and she would basically become like what she was in the original, and even learn how to do that strong ass punch. Naruto would learn that too, by the way. Anywho, that's where I'm gonna end off. I will be covering Shippuden in the next part. It's literally 18 minutes to 4 a.m. and I'm gonna edit this video as soon as possible and upload it tomorrow. And I'm not sure how this upload schedule is gonna go. If I get a job, it's gonna be even harder, but I will try to upload as many times as I can in a week. Most probably maybe 4 to 5 times, and that's still a lot for my standards. Well, actually, my old standards were too many videos a week. I say too many because like, how was I able to upload 4 videos a day? That was crazy. I remember doing that, and it was a long time ago. It was literally 2 years ago. Although I have as much time as then, well, actually I don't, because I actually started my A-level course. And by the way, the video has ended by now. I'm just here talking to you guys because I would like to talk to you guys. And if you're still here, you know, you can just tell me what hashtag end of video. And anyways, now, um, I hope you all enjoyed this what if. This was the King of Weaves, and it was fun making this video. And I'll see you all next part. This was the King of Weebs, and make sure to leave any suggestions of any voice you want, because I will be doing more fan what ifs, whatever you guys want. I shall try to make it. And anyways, and the Exiled Part 3, um, I will try to bring it out, but I'll be honest, I have forgotten everything about it. So if one of you can DM me on Discord through the Discord server, you can, and I might be making a new one. I'm not sure. That's still in the works, and just make a new one, because why not? The old one is, I can't lie, it's a desolate land right now. So, anyways, my ducklings, you're dismissed. This was the King of Weebs here, and peace.